Sweet potato would be about 40 pounds.
I'll just have the hot dog. You made it very clear you want.
I just want to have. Depending on the okay. We had a late start this morning. Oh yeah. I know. Depending on how long I'm here, I might be out I guess. Yeah. No, it's pretty crazy. It might even be like 30 minutes. Okay.
This is so good.
Oh, really?
Yes. Oh my god.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yes. It's unexpected in the best way.
So good.
Thank you.
Very welcome.
I love that. Yeah.
They started out with the broth concept and then built out, right? And now it's all a bunch of healthy.
Yeah. But they're all about like, they have the broth and they're like, all right, add this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're great. Stop doing it.
Tis the season.
Thank you.
Enjoy. There's this there if you need it.
Perfect.
We did run out of our water. Coming later this half.
Crab sandwich. Try to touch it. I know we should go away from those places.
Come and get it, guys. Best hot chocolate in the world.
I got scallions and like lemon dust. And we like wear cash or cards.
40? One chicken, one pork, one beef.
Oh my god. Sorry, one more time. I probably might wear. No need for wallet. Yes.
Let me know if you have any questions. At the moment, we did run out of our hot sauce.
Said she wanted to go under. So her mom said, close your eyes, close your mouth. And she did it. She went under. No big deal. Yay. Did you call Gigi on the phone? He's like, I don't want to go. Hey, don't throw me. He said, yes, 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 Mommy. And no, no, no. No, no, no. Is Gigi going to throw you? Can I throw you? Can Kevin throw you? Mark.
No, ¿sabes qué pasó?
We did do that. Oh, that's...
I think I prefer tayo.
Here. Oh, crap.
I know I smelled the mint actually.
And it's lip and body, so you can go everywhere. I was on some of that, like, you know, I don't like but I still, but I use it.
Actually, my gosh, that's all
Closer. It ran away. What I thought. Ran.
Sold out. Oh, those are cute.
I was like, do you see what I see? Stop. See, I'm
So we all how did they get kicked out?
This is the greatest girl ever.
Little lolly. You're good.
I don't think he's 3.
And well, honestly,
Just do pine here.
Can't have
We're there for work. Okay, I live. I get like all these messages on Facebook.
Chocolate syrup.
This one is specific for Christmas. Standard made.
Get him in his face.
Okay. And it's also not.
de pepino te lo doy acá.
Seems like a nice drink.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
The store, farmer's market. And near my office. My friend Kima and I walk there often, right? I didn't know it was like one of the they from the Santa Monica farmer's market, like the two largest.
Yeah, so then apparently. All right, take care. All right, good to see you.
Oh my god. Go in and we're just sitting there. It's like you come on.
Right. Right. Like,
Although,
No brothers now.
something happened. I don't know.
is it nice?
Hey, so the ashwagandha stuff, what does that do?